Hi everybody. Today I will talk about truffles and ecosystem. First of all, I would like to thank Corina for having me as a guest instructor. I will talk to you briefly. What are the truffles? What are truffles? What is the function of truffles for sustainable ecosystem? How many truffle species are there in the world? Why truffle is important for wild animals? How can we find truffles in forest? How can we hunt it? What kind of habitats do commercial truffles have? Why truffle is the most expensive food in the world? And how can we grow truffle in orchard in our backyard, for example? So first of all, I would like to introduce myself as my background. My degree, bachelor degree, master, and PhD from Turkey, from biology department. Especially my PhD was about fungi taxonomy, and I have focused on truffle studies since 2005. Later, I came to the United States and did a postdoc with Professor James Truffle in Oregon State University from 2012 to 2016. And I used it to teach biology in different universities in Turkey, Pamukkale University, 4 years, Nevşehir University, 3 years, Muğla University, 5 years. And now I am affiliated professor at University of Washington since 2017. I have more than 75 articles and one book about truffle. So my collaboration with different countries, especially United States, Italy, France, and Sweden. I have I attended some international truffle project, and we discovered 11 new truffle species. They are new for scientific world. And also I started truffle cultivation in Turkey. More than 15 truffle orchards were established, started April 2013, and I used to manage them. And my studies in Turkey have been paid attention well from media and television channels and newspapers. Also from France. There was an article about my study in Turkey in France. So right now I have affiliated professor position in UW, and also I operate my own family company, Alpine Truffle, and I produce inoculated truffle trees and manage truffle orchards. And now we can start with truffles. What are truffles? Truffles are fungi, but underground mushroom. They complete all their life cycle underground. For example, ordinary truffle this is a normal fungus, has a stalk, gill, cap, and produce spore under cap and spread outside. But underground mushroom is a reduce all macrostructure and make a ball-shaped structure underground, and they contain all spores inside the peridium, and they produce aromatic compounds that attracts animals because they are needed to be eaten by wild animals to spread their spores outside. So truffles are underground fungus, and they are the fruit of the fungus organism. Hunting truffles like picking apples from apple tree, but not from the branch, from the root of the apple. So truffles play a very important role in ecosystem. They make a mycorrhizal association with a root of the plants. The hyphae of the fungus form an ectomycorrhizal structure with the root of the plant and provide plants with more water and minerals. So plants taken, they maximize the amount of the water and minerals taken from outside. And when plants take more water and minerals, they grow faster than normal plants. Also, fungus benefit from plants by taking sugar and organic materials as a photosynthetic product. So this is a win-win situation, mutualistic association. So another important role for wild animals. Some wild animals are eating truffles. So it is very important for food chain in ecosystem. So we can say truffles are ectomycorrhizal fungi and food source for wild animals in forest, and also most expensive food in the world. So ectomycorrhizal fungi important for forest health indicator because with mycorrhiza plants grow faster than normal plants. So it is estimated that today world contain from 5,000 to 10,000 truffle species. A huge diversity of size, form, aroma, and color. Each truffle has its own different color, aroma, and form. So you can see here more different kind of truffles here. All of them form mycorrhizal association with different plants. So there is a huge diversity in truffles from 5,000 to 10,000 species, but only some of them are edible or have a desirable culinary food and commercial value. For example, tuber magnatum it is known as the Italian white truffle. This one is a very special one. So the most expensive truffle in the world, tuber magnatum, or Italian white truffle, because it cannot be cultivated, only can be grown in a very limited area in Italy. That's why it is so expensive. And second one is a tuber melanosporum. Melanosporum it is called as a Perigord truffle. The Perigord is a region of the natural area in France, and this truffle is a second most expensive truffle, $1,000 per kilogram. And natural area, it is distribution just South Europe, limited in South Europe, but today can be cultivated everywhere in the world. The most cultivated truffles in the world. And Oregon white truffle, these are native truffles here, and Oregon black truffle. They are growing. They grow naturally from San Francisco to Vancouver in a Douglas fir forests. So today for truffle hunting, people generally use truffle trained dogs. Most dogs can be trained because for hunting mature truffle, trained dog very important because immature truffles have no economic value, no commercial value. That's why only way to pick up mature 100% mature truffles, we need a truffle dog. So how to find truffles in forest? When we go to forest, we can find truffles anywhere, especially in a moisture area. A little bit the surface. If we have a rake and if we dig a little bit the soil, we can see some mycelia. And if we follow them, we can find some truffles. For example, this is a very old wild hazel tree. These kind of old trees are potential truffle area because they receive lots of water and rain go down very slowly and keep moisture a long time and make a truffles underground. When we dig a little bit the soil around the trees, we can find some mycelia as a white color. If we follow this color, these mycelia, and if we smell something different, this is some part of hyphae and mycelia of the truffles, we can see some the very early stage of the truffles. And if we dig a little bit more, look around, we can find truffles like this. And you can see some hyphae here. For truffle hunting, or if you want to do some truffle hunting for commercial truffles, we need to more knowledge. For example, we need to know something about the habitats of the commercial truffles. For example, for collection truffles, we need to learn distribution of the truffles and the host trees of the truffles, soil characteristic of the truffles, and season and climate of the truffles. For example, for Oregon white truffle and black truffle, we need to learn what kind the host trees. For example, Oregon white truffles and black truffles, they are associated with Douglas fir, and they grow in acidic soil and grow the whole winter and spring season. For example, Oregon white truffles and black truffles generally grow in a young Douglas fir. That relatively little light reaches the ground, and the ground is mostly barren like this. There is no plants under these trees. This is called as known as a brûlé in French. Brûlé means as a burnt area. Mycorrhizal mushrooms, especially truffles, don't allow the plants grow under the trees. So this is a good indicator for us when we go to forest. This picture from Peck Forest, when you go there, if you see this kind of part under the Douglas fir, there is no plants. You can find some truffles there, especially Oregon white truffles and black truffles. Sometimes the good indicator for us, some digging part, for example, squirrel dig here some part and eating part of the truffles, and still the half of the truffle left there. We can follow this kind of digging, and if we dig more, we can find some more truffles here. For example, you can see here as a digging of the animal, white animal here, squirrel or red or mouse or any kind of mammals. We can follow, we can dig a little bit more and find more. We don't need to dig more soil, just a little. We open the dirt, we can find truffles. For example, you can see here some Oregon white truffle, the smallest one, just under the litter, not in the deep soil. So another indicator, this picture also from Peck Forest, fairly young Douglas fir, about 20 years or 25 years old. Typical white and black truffle habitat here. You can see lots of digging area, and you can see here burula, some fern here, but not so much fern here. Other part, you can see more fern, but this part less plants. It means there's a burula. This is a signifying of the presence of the truffles here. When we dig this digging part, we can find some truffles. Last winter we found some Oregon of black truffle in Peck Forest. Also, you can see some here. One more picture here. So, in Europe, in the Mediterranean zone, the summer is dry summer, so wild pigs digging under the trees, under the pine, and collecting, hunting the truffles, eating truffles, because pigs have the ability to sniff them out from as deep as 5 deep underground. They have ability to find them under the soil, 3 feet, sometimes more underground. This is a good indicator for us for following, digging more and looking around. Maybe they left some truffles for us. And sometimes in Mediterranean part, you can see some indicator like this. Truffle push and press the soil and crack the soil surface. When we follow this indicator, we can find some tuber, especially this is tuber estium as a summer truffle in Turkey. And if the soil has more moisture, truffle go up and very close to surface. Otherwise, the dry area, truffle kept under soil, a little bit deep soil, but moisture placed, they generally come up to near the surface. And second one, this is an Italian white truffle. This is a Italian white truffle or tuber magnatum, the most expensive food in the world, because it cannot be grown, cannot be cultivated. We don't know why. Scientists have been working on it more than 20 years, but they cannot succeed yet. They have scientists have not succeed yet. This is naturally grown in Italy, and especially Piedmont region. That's why it is called Piedmont truffles. And they their host plants are hosts are oak, poplar, and willow. And Umbria region is a very famous place for white truffle. For example, this is a agricultural zone. At the edge of the agricultural zone, there is a valley, and there are lots of oak, willow, and poplar here, mixed forest. Uh, and white truffle is very common here, natural area. So you can see here mycorrhizal, the root system, and with hyphae. And soil of the Italian white truffle is extremely soft and porous texture, and the soil are rich in calcium carbonate, uh, pH about 7.5. So, especially truffle hunters use a special tool for picking truffle, collecting truffles, because they don't wanna destroy more part of the soil. They don't wanna destroy mycorrhizal structure. They use the trained dogs and open the soil with a special tool, like a brain surgery. Just they open the very small area. For example, this truffle tuber magnatum hunting in Italy to November 2014. There are two trained dogs here. White one is a Lagotto dog, has a huge experience on truffle hunting. These dogs have they are trained dogs. They just market the place, located truffle place, and also sometimes they digging the soil, but they never touch the surface of the truffle, because white truffle is very expensive, and truffle hunter trained them, and they know what they need to do. For example, truffle hunter here open the soil, a very limited area, not a huge hole, and truffle dog digging. These dog digging, but they stopped when they approached the truffle. In the past, wild pigs are used for truffle hunting in Europe, but today it is forbidden in Italy because they are destroying everywhere, destroying soil, and also very dangerous because they fight with truffle hunters for eating truffles. Most of the truffle hunter in the past lost some part of the some fingers because of the fighting wild pig. Truffle dogs are willing to receive alternative rewards. That's why today it is very common, popular, especially small dogs, because the small space, small feed, transportation is very easy. And now you can see truffle, white truffle here. But this soil is very compact soil. So truffle shape is not regular, a little bit irregular truffle we found that time. So black truffle is a tuber melanosporum. Naturally grow in Mediterranean climate zone in France, Italy, and Spain. You can see here in Italy, south of the France and Spain. This is a natural tuber melanosporum zone or Perigord truffle. originally limited in distribution to Southern Europe, and they are associated with oak trees and hazel trees. Mostly the typical habitats are lime soil. The biological cycle of the truffle, you can see here the root system, root of the plant, making a ectomycorrhiza with the hyphae of the mycelia of the truffles. When mycelia grow and spread around, they start to produce a fruit of the fungi as truffles. When they establish the soil, generally needs take time, 4 or 5 years, and after that they harvest every year from December to at the end of the March. And you can see here spores, they germinate and make a truffle, maturation of the truffles, and also they are eaten by animals and spread the ascospores. Each spore germinate, make a hyphae and mycelia, and infects other trees and start a cycle again. And you can see here this picture from France. This is a natural truffle area under the pine tree, an oak tree. You can see here brûlé, burned area. It means this is a good indicator signifying of the presence of the truffles. And another picture here, this is a Quercus robur, oak trees make a brûlé here. You can see this part around the trees, less grass. This is a brûlé. Generally, we follow this brûlé area. And also you can see here bushes. This is another kind of oak trees, make a brûlé here. When we go there from December to at the end of the March or April, we can find some truffles. Another picture here, this is a natural Quercus forest, and there is a agricultural zone here. There is a grass here. From 20 meters away from the Quercus robur, we can find some truffles because some part has a less grass here. It means is a indicator of the truffles here, because when tilling the soil or plowed the soil, activated the mycorrhiza and they produce more mycorrhiza and truffles. When we go there at the end of the April, this is very late for Perigord truffle, we find a little, one immature truffle, where was small truffle. This dog trained for Perigord truffle, just mark this point of the mark the truffle area, not digging. So you can see here truffle dog looking for truffle and feel something here, just digging a little bit, not so much, because there is a truffle here immature and very small, and aroma is not good. So dogs know that this dog knows he can receive a very small reward. That's why he is not so willing. And Pierre Sauzard is a truffle consultant in the south of France, in Cahors, in Toulouse. Just now he is looking for tubermelanosporum. This is a typical soil. This is a Mediterranean soil rich with the iron, and he smelled tubermelanosporum. Very small very tiny tuber melanosporum we found that time, because almost over the season that time. Okay, this picture from Italy, melanosporum, natural melanosporum area. You can see here Brule. So we can find some truffles here, very close to soil. Another one here, but the November is very early for truffle hunting. That's why truffle hunter closed this truffle with the soil gently. Gently, he said that I will come here next month. So because November that time is early for melanosporum. So characteristic of the tuber melanosporum soil is a limestone, pH about 7.8 or more, and a balanced structure, texture, clay, silt, and sand in equal proportions. Sandy soil are more favorable than non-stony clay soil. So you can see it texture triangle here. This blue market area is suitable for truffle, especially tuber melanosporum. Sandy soil is important. So this is a natural area, this structure you can see here. Truffles generally tuber melanosporum grows in a shallow soil, not deep soil. You can see here a little bit soil, but more rock here. They are some of them are marble or calcium carbonate. Generally, truffles grow here, not agriculture zone. And so truffles are important for plants because of the mycorrhiza. Truffles are important to tree survival and growth, and indicator of the health plant forest health. And also they are important for wild animals. You can see different lots of wild animals here. All of them are eating truffles. Some of them depend on truffles, just eating truffles. Rats and mouse, small mammals in North America, and large mammals, deers, baboon in Australia, wallabies, great spotted kiwi, red kangaroos, armadillos, meerkats, bears, and wild pigs. They are eating truffles. They are looking for truffles. Also birds. They are eating truffles. They have a good sense for truffle aroma. For example, this is a great bustard. This is a otistarda. They have a large, strong feet, good for digging soil and finding truffles. So squirrels eating truffles, because most of the wild animals are active during the night. They need vitamin D more. They take vitamin D from truffles. So today we can tell what an animal eats by microscopic examination of its feces. We can take, when we take the piece of the pellet, and under microscope we can understand what kind of truffles they are eating. For example, this is very interesting, very cool for us in Turkey. We found a hedgehog in forest, and we take it. We kept in our as a visitor in our hotel one day, one night, and we keep the pellet, and we examined its pellet under microscope. We found these spores and this tissue, this peridium of the truffles, and we realized that this spores belongs to rhizopogon. So this is the first time this is the first paper in the world. This is the first time we found the hedgehog eating truffles. It is interesting. So it means white truffles are for white animals, not for people more. So it means we instead of hunting over hunting truffles, we keep them for sustainable forestry, and we need to cultivate truffles for our truffle. Why truffle are so expensive? Because truffle production in the world has decreased 20 times over 100 years. While it is the demand is getting increasing, it is demand by the production of the truffles is decreasing. There are many reasons why the truffle production is decreased. Because of the World War II, most of the truffle hunter died that time, and also lots of oak trees in Europe destroyed for a different kind of forest, valuable plants. There are many reasons, but truffle production decreased dramatically 20 times the last 100 years. That's why truffle the price is increasing. That's why scientists have started to work on it, truffle cultivation. First step for truffle cultivation, early 19th century, Joseph Tolan is he discovered of a haphazard method of the planting acorn near the truffle infected parent trees, and this is a first step. And this method had been used for more than 150 years, and later, at the end of the 1960s, scientists started to develop the new methods for producing truffle infected plants under controlled condition in greenhouse, and they succeed. December 1977, the first cultivated truffles were harvested in France. So now I would like to talk about my story in Washington State. When I came here in Washington State, 2016, I formed my family company, Alpine Truffle, and I collected acorn from ilex, Quercus ilex, is a holly oak, evergreen trees. I clean the acorn and I keep them, and later 2017, this early spring, I germinated them, and after that I inoculated with Perigord truffles, Tubermelanosporum. I grow them in a greenhouse under controlled condition. And 2018, I checked the root system and I observed the ectomycorrhizal structure, the root system, and also at the end of the mycorrhiza hyphae, I found the cystidia, this structure. So I understood that I believe that all my plants are inoculated well, they are doing well. So I take them outside and I plant them in orchards. And 2019, this is a assembled irrigation system. And Perigord truffles originally grow in southern of the France, but in a suitable soil, with the appropriated care, truffle can produce within 4 or 5 years, and then truffle produced mature to from harvest to harvest from December to the April. So right now our truffle orchard doing well, and for truffle cultivation we fixed the soil by adding lime, and we fixed the climate by irrigating, by watering in summer, and now we plant the lavender between the truffle trees, the row, because the lavender and truffles are making a good combination. They activate the truffle growing. So we plant some lavender, and you can see here the lavender and truffle trees. You can see truffle trees. They are growing very slowly, these trees, because we prefer Quercus ilex, because they are best commercial trees. They grow very slowly, and they mycelia growing of the mycelia keep up with the root growing well. And now I want to talk something about the cultivation outside of the Europe, especially in the United States. Truffle cultivation outside of the Europe makes a big difference, make a new industry in different countries, especially in United States, in New Zealand, Australia, and Sweden, other countries. For example, when a new country produce truffles, for example, in New Zealand, or for example, Morocco is very new for truffle cultivation. Just one truffle grower farmer in there produce truffles. So they local people start to selling truffles, producing truffle productions, and also they increase the awareness of the truffles. That's why increasing domestic truffle demand, increasing truffle ecotourism. Lots of people come there and looking for truffles. They are picking up truffles and eating food with truffles. That's why promoted the tourist season, increased the interest in the area. And also another part of the job is the trade, is a breeding, training, and selling truffle dogs. Sometimes much more expensive than truffle dogs, and truffle dog courses and competition. And also local people make a truffle cultivation and selling trees. These new industry growing in Sweden, in Morocco, in in new countries. In the United States, the first Perigord truffle harvest outside of the Europe in California began producing in 1991, after 9.5 years after planting. Because that time truffle growers didn't know how important the soil pH. They harvest truffle after adding lime. The same thing in the North Carolina. The second truffle orchard in North Carolina established with a hazelnut and began to producing truffles 1993, after 12 years after planting. There is a study, the USDA funded 2012 study of truffle production potential in the Northwest. It is very interesting. This report estimates that from 9,000 to 30,000 acres under the production are needed to meet the growing demand for truffle nationally. So United States is the biggest market in the world, and there is a high demand. That's why if farmers make a truffle orchard from 9,000 to 30,000 acres, maybe United States meet the domestic demand of the truffles. So United States imports more than 13 tons of fresh or chilled truffles every year, but just 100 small farmers produce truffles, less than 1 ton a year. So in Seattle, you can find truffles at Pike Place Market. You can find the Burgundy truffles, is a summer truffle from Europe, sold in Pike Place Market. So Truffle Festival in Italy, we will. I will finish. I will. It is almost. I'm almost done. Just watching this video from Umbria region in Italy. Every region, every village has its own festival in truffle season. For example, in November, the black truffle, white truffle time. I wanna show you the one of the local truffles festival in Umbria region. You can see here white truffles, Perigord truffles, tuber magnatum, the most expensive food in the world. One of the customer here purchasing truffles, just 3 of them. And also lots of the truffle products are sold there because truffle is very expensive. There is no garbage from truffles. If the truffle is damaged, the tiny part of truffle also use it for truffle products. For example, truffle oil, truffle butter, truffle cheese, truffle rice, any kind of truffle production. And generally truffle are kept in the jar because of the keep of its aroma and smell. And you can see here Perigord truffle, because November is the best time for both truffle, Perigord truffle and tuber melanosporum and tuber magnatum can be found the same time in the November. A little bit early for tuber melanosporum, but still can be found in at the end of the November. So November is a very important for tuber magnatum, just grown in the November. So you can see some products here, products of truffles, and customers taste it. And 10 euro per truffle oil. Most of the truffle oil are fake there because truffle is very expensive. So people generally use artificial aroma, not original truffles. And you can see truffles in a jar. Small one is a expensive, the large one is a small one is a cheap, and the bigger one is a expensive. And also you can see here truffle cheese. Okay. And thank you so much for listening to me.